Welcome to the show, Bridging the Great Divide, a show that provides a forum for artists and filmmakers from all over the world, people who are making a contribution and changing the world. And I'm so happy to have here in the studio an icon of, for filmmakers, documentarians, and activists from all over the world, Mr. Robert Greenwald. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Now, you are an artist, an activist, a filmmaker, a blogger, I might say. So who is the real Robert Greenwald?
Well, after many years of therapy, I'm still not sure we have the full answer there, but I like to believe that myself and many others can combine skill sets, can combine passions, and can combine what we believe in our heart and soul with the work we do in many different ways. I'm fortunate enough to be able to do this full time now, but I believe the important thing is doing something, whether you can do it full time, half a week, 5 minutes a day, whatever it is, combining your activism, combining your political passion, and not only complaining, but working for social change.
And what is Brave New Films, and how are you participating with Brave New Films?
Well, Brave New Films was set up so that we could continue to do originally the full-length documentaries, Walmart at Fox, Iraq for Sale, and now we're focusing on short investigative videos that are completely free, that are on the internet at bravenewfilms.org, if I'm allowed to have a plug here because it's free. And we've had astounding success. We decided to move from the full-length documentaries to the shorter pieces because there's a huge audience out there. And when we started this year, we started in January, we thought we might hit 1 million views, 1.5 million, which is a lot, right? We're at 12 million in the first year.
Excellent.
And there was no proof that anybody would watch these other than, you know, what the conventional thinking had been. You watch humor, you watch a lady falling in the shower, a dog on a skateboard, and suddenly there are these pieces of substance, these political pieces about Fox and about the war and about social issues and greed. So it's been very exciting. We're going to continue to do those and continue to reach a huge diverse audience where all of the people on our email list then pass it around. So anyone who wants to do something goes to Brave New Films, signs up, and then they get the free videos and they send them around. Friends, schools, churches, and it has a real impact.
So do you think this is the way the communication is going to take place in this century?
Well, it's a way that it'll take place. I mean, there's no question, right? I mean, YouTube has more people watching it on a given day than CBS, NBC, ABC combined, you know.
Wow.
So it's staggering what's happening. And of course, the younger generation, the people in my office, they go home and watch YouTube. They don't watch networks. So certainly it's a critical piece, and I'm thrilled that progressives are at the forefront. You know, I said I was going to slip my wrists if we had to look back and say, why didn't we, when it was just exploding? But having said that, what the videos are, they're a tool. They're a tool for the groups that are doing the hard work on the ground. They're a tool for organizing. They're a tool for legislation. In and of themselves, they don't exist or they're not meaningful. But audiences, people use them, and suddenly we win some battles. We had sponsors pull out from the Savage Show. We stopped Fox News from sponsoring the debate with the Democrats. So there's real specific victories connected to these.
I think one of the things that's on your website right now is the movie called The War on Greed. And can you give us a little bit of a background, what it is and why should people watch it?
Well, it's, again, what we hope they'll do is watch it and then take some action. It was motivated by the fact that we started reading in the fall about these buyout billionaires who were paying less in taxes than you, than a school teacher, than a fireman, less percentage of their income, and it was outrageous. So we started doing some research. We found this, you know, an incredible example of the wealth inequity and where the laws are stacked. The rules are not fair to everybody. So we began this War on Greed campaign, focusing on private equity. We'll be doing more of them, and then over time we will add, there's no lack of candidates for this, and maybe your viewers will write in and give us some suggestions that they have.
We have a clip of War on Greed, which we will show.
Henry Kravis spent $10 million on his fourth home, a beachfront villa like these in the Dominican Republic, Casa de Campo Development. Designed by Oscar de la Renta, he then spent another $25 million for renovations. The resort has 2 18-hole golf courses, 2 polo fields, and 150 polo ponies, 13 tennis courts, 8 swimming pools, a gymnasium with saunas, and a fleet of fishing and sailing boats. The money they borrow to take over companies is deducted from the taxes they should otherwise pay. The borrowed tax-free money is not used for new jobs or new factories or new products. On most of their income, Henry Kravis and the other private equity tycoons pay half the tax rate that firemen, teachers, and policemen pay. Private equity companies have spent millions of dollars on lobbying to protect their tax loopholes.
I joined the Marine Corps in 1965. I was 17 years old. I left for Vietnam in February. I spent 20 months in Vietnam. I work as a contractor for the Army Family Programs Office. I feel that whatever I do to pay my taxes or help people, I mean, that should be, everyone should be paying the same. He gets all these tax breaks. I mean, what about us? I mean, you know, why? They take away our tax breaks, but then they turn around and give it to the rich. $45,000 an hour? I mean, I just hit $45,000 a year, maybe in last year making that much money. That's $45,000 a year, and he makes it in an hour.
This is crazy. It's very unreasonable that someone should live in a 28-room mansion while paying less taxes than one's made in percentage costs.
This was the 5th home of Henry Kravis. There are 8 deluxe guest suites in the main lodge, extraordinary fly fishing, hiking, and riding. He sold it to golf legend Greg Norman for $16 million.
That was a really interesting film. My question to you is, a lot of people don't know what is a private equity. And is this some mysterious entity that's been around and people don't know? Or, I mean, can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, sure. Really what it is the buyout, which got a bad name when they started taking over and ravishing companies. They changed the name to private equity. It's essentially the same thing, where people working legally, by the way, who are not covered by almost any of the rules or laws of the stock market and financial transparency, use private money, sometimes tragically pension funds, even from some of our friends, the pension funds that the unions have put together, take over companies, fire workers, then will sell the company as quickly as they can, turn a quick profit, and then not pay taxes on the bulk of their money. Now, bear in mind, Henry Kravis, you've probably never heard of what it said in the film, $50,000 an hour. And he's a billionaire from doing this. And he's not creating new jobs. He's not creating factories. What he's doing is it's a paper shuffle, basically.
So he does this, can I say manipulation of buying and selling, and people are getting laid off.
Yes.
And still our government is basically giving him tax breaks.
Yes. You are paying for him to be able to do this in 2 ways. One is on his profit. They call it carried interest. He pays 15%. Everybody else is paying 20, 25, 30%. And the way they take over these companies is they borrow money to do it. They get a tax break for borrowing the money to take over these companies to fire people. So there's a solution here, though. It's a legislative solution. I think we're going to call attention to it. We have, people understandably are aroused and are angry, but it's what we try to do at Brave New Films, which is put the bright light on something.
Right.
Make clear that here's a problem and we can take action, not just that here's a problem.